Winter was a quiet time in northern New England, and despite the romance of poets and painters, for many it was a time of quiet desperation. For the tourists had left, and the grand old hotels, which employed many local people, had closed for the season. Farmers settled in for the winter, and everybody waited till spring, for there was little else to do.
The ski industry changed all that. It created more money, more jobs, and a different way of life for northern New Englanders. But a combination of things in the early 1970s caused the economic balloon of skiing, if not to burst, at least to deflate. The general economy was down, there were winters with minimal snow, and the gasoline shortage. The number of skiers heading north declined. In the winter of 1973-74, income from skiing dropped 30% from what it was 3 years before. Tight money and environmental controls brought development almost to a halt.
I would call them the bust years and sort of a purge period in which the more marginal areas suffered quite heavily. It put everybody to the test. It taught the ski area operators that they could run their ski areas as a business, run them tight, and they'd survive. Those who were indiscriminate, wasted money, and were in it strictly for emotional reasons suffered quite horribly.
Many small areas closed. Larger areas don't close, they go into bankruptcy but keep operating. Many, though not bankrupt, are in serious economic difficulty. Mount Snow in Vermont is one.
Mount Snow simply overbuilt. I spent too much money. I put a lift in a wilderness valley that I knew I couldn't come into. I knew there'd be acts that would close me out of there.
In order to pay for his overspending, Schoenknecht brought in the Davos Corporation. They too overspent. Then Davos' other holdings began going under. In order to save them, Davos sold off Mount Snow properties, including the land on which the base lodge sits. That is now leased by the mountain. The Davos Corporation went bankrupt, but Mount Snow is a separate company, and it still teeters along.
Mount Snow is here. It can never be stopped. It's a growing, wonderful organization, and it will be here forever.
The troubles felt by the ski industry impacted on local economies. Jobs were lost, businesses shut down, and some were left holding the bag.
A lot of the contractors would build spec houses and sell them quite promptly, and that was okay as long as they sold them. Then came the day when they didn't sell them, and we ran into some real problems.
How did you handle that?
Well, we were forced to put liens on these properties, and in some cases they haven't been sold yet.
The hardships of the early 70s are over. Business is improving, management is more efficient, and the predictions for the future of the ski industry are hesitantly good. We'll gaze into the crystal ball tomorrow night to see where this very important contributor to the northern New England economy is headed. Howard Nielsen for Newsroom 7.